Turn it up.
Q99.7
from the John Foy Strong Arm Studios.
Q99.7.
Atlanta, please help me welcome the CEO and founder of Fanbase, Isaac Hayes III. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. How are you?
Of course. I'm so excited to have you. And of course, I've been paying attention. I've been following you for quite a while now. So to see you building your own legacy within this generation is just the coolest thing. So can you tell us, just to start, for those who may not already know, you are the son of the legend Isaac Hayes, who had his own musical legacy. Why was it so important for you to build something new in this generation that has just your name and your foundation tied to it?
So I was a music producer, been producing music for about 20 years. And then I just decided to build this app because of a young kid from Memphis. I use social media. You know how you use social media and sometimes people criticize you, like, why are you on social media all the time?
Yes.
I was that person. I'm that guy, right? But what I noticed is just I learned a lot about social media and saw some gaps in the market and said, oh, I think there needs to be a change in how we do things. And so this kid goes viral for dancing in a Spider-Man costume. And I said, yo, like, congratulations. I sent him a DM, and then he was like, can you manage me? And I was like, I don't really manage influencers. I don't really know anything about that.
Yeah.
But I thought he was very talented, that he could dance. So I was like, okay, we need an app where people can subscribe to people like we're subscribing to Netflix.
Right.
I thought that was the future of where content is going because I want to get people paid. And I think that was the importance of me kind of setting out and building Fanbase, just something of my own. It was different, but it was also in the wheelhouse of what I love to do.
Yes.
So as a kid growing up, I said I either wanted to be a music producer or make video games. And so I kind of wound up doing a little bit of both.
Definitely. Would you also say that, you know, we see those conversations on Twitter all the time, which I love because you bring up a lot of great conversations. You pull a lot of great conversations into your Instagram, your Twitter. Would you say that another part of it is just seeing how, as a culture, Black people start so many trends? We bring so much language. I mean, we've seen it all the time through commercials and things in the past with, you know, hip hop music, the lingo and everything. But to see all the creators on Twitter, Black Twitter, that are like, this stuff that we're talking about in our everyday conversations is ending up, there's people getting paid at the top and we're not seeing a dime of it.
Absolutely. I say this, it's statistically impossible to market anything as being quote unquote cool without the assistance of Black people. It can be sentimental, it can be romantic, it can be adventurous, but cool, it's gotta come from Black people. It's gotta have our music or a dance or some slang or some fashion or something. And so there's an economic value to that is worth billions and billions of dollars. And so what happens is at the infrastructure level, there are companies like Facebook and TikTok that make billions of dollars because so many people watch that content, and through that content they run advertising.
Right.
And so that is how they make their money. But the creators of the content don't get paid anything at all. Like, they don't get paid barely anything. I saw this creator, he just posted a video about how his video got 1.2 million views on TikTok and he made $19.
Wow.
So yeah, but that's, you know, and so, I mean, that's a lot of views. 1.2, imagine getting 1.2 million views of a television commercial, or 1.2 million views on a network television show. You wouldn't get $19 for a commercial.
Sheesh, that's crazy.
So there's this whole disproportionate relationship between Black culture and technology that leaves a lot of the creators of this content like out. Like, they don't really get a chance to really reap the benefits. And so Fanbase serves as an opportunity from an infrastructure level that there's ownership in how the company was built, but then also, secondly, it's monetization built in from the beginning.
Right. Okay, so tell me, what are all of the kind of, I've seen some photos, I've seen videos from the location, which is super dope. It is here in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
What are all of the in-house things that you guys offer for creators to come through? I've seen different artists that you guys have highlighted, podcasting and other content. What are all the services that any creator could come to get done in-house there?
So we have a podcast studio. We have a stage where we're doing this new series called Amped Up.
Yes.
Which highlights musicians and artists that are up and coming. It's really, really dope. Phenomenal, beautiful stage.
Yes.
We have sets like our sitting area is kind of used as a set. So we shoot a lot of content there. And then really primarily though, what I highlight is actually the functionality of the app itself is really what is the real, I guess, the real centerpiece to this, where creators can use it, because it's their world to monetize and make, as much money as they want.
What have been some of your proudest moments, whether it be going out about and seeing people maybe rocking their Fanbase merch, or being proud users, or just some amazing content that you've seen come from in-house that you're like, yeah, this is what we doing?
I mean, building the app itself was a challenge because I'm a first-time tech founder. I didn't know anything about tech. I was blessed to meet my amazing CTO, Ramiro, and we just struck it off from the beginning. And I think that taking an idea that's in your head or jotting it down to a physical, three-dimensional business that exists on 2 app stores, is in 212 countries. We've raised a total of about $9.3 million in funding for the app through equity crowdfunding. So this is the greatest accomplishment of my life, and I'm really proud of it. Like, building Fanbase is just like phenomenal.
Yes. What are some things that you've become? It's like any other industry. Once we get into things, we get to see things, of course, that nobody gets to see. We can kind of predict things that are coming, or we see certain patterns. Like, what are some things that you've just become a little more privy to that if you didn't work within the tech world, you would be like, these people don't even know that they could either, whether it be get money or just the way that trends adjust as time adjusts? Like, what are just some of the things that you've noticed pattern-wise about where we're moving in the future with content creation and monetization?
So 2 things. Subscriptions. I think people don't understand the amount of money that's available to subscriptions, right, in the subscriber world. And then AI. Like,
yes.
Look, if I was a voiceover artist, and I did voiceover for years, let me tell you something. I've been using this platform, and it can clone your voice. Like, if I were you, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna tell you what the company is when we're off the air. But I'm gonna tell you what the company is, but I would find a way to clone your voice and then trademark your voice.
Listen, I've been seeing some of your conversations here lately about AI on Instagram, and I've been super interested. I'm digging through your comments on each one. I love that you always give your piece as well. And just recently, you had brought up, maybe it was like a week or 2 ago, a video of some guys that were like, we're going to be looking out on behalf of all musicians in the future. We're going to, get the rights. Yeah, trademark all of these different chords, like
melodies.
AI. Yeah, all these AI melodies. It's like, well, are you going to sweep everything? How could anybody get money from it then? Are you really trying to protect the people, or are y'all just building your pockets?
It's a terrible idea.
Then does it become something that a person like you who is in position to be able to be a part of something like that is like, well, shit, if everybody else is doing it, we need to move in that direction too, to be able to license certain music or things like that?
Well, what they're trying to do can't be done because, for one, when you're trying to trademark something in copyright law, it has to be done by a human being. So computers you can't create computer generated music and then copyright it.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can't. That's not legal. And then the melodies that existed before, you can't copyright pre-existing melodies as your own because they existed before your AI came along and created them. So that's not going to work either.
Oh, man.
So, that ain't going to happen. But I think, like I said, with AI, it's just like, it's photos, video. There's some things that I've seen that are like, Chat GPT.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on Chat GPT 4. Some people use like 3.5, but I'm on 4. It's like, it's an insane amount of stuff that is coming. And then again, I tell this, if you're not monetizing your content today via subscription, 5 years from now, you're going to regret that you did it because you're going to get out-earned by somebody that is less talented than you are that simply decided to do so. There's so much money in subscriptions. Like, let's talk about the money that's available. There's 222 million people with a Netflix subscription, but there's 7.5 billion people on the planet with a smartphone. So people subscribing to people is going to be bigger than Netflix ever could be. Sheesh. And then when you think about Netflix and Disney Plus, these are companies that are charging $10, $15 a month for a subscription, but they're spending $100 million a series.
Okay.
Like, Ahsoka and Marvel, whereas you and I could create content on an iPhone, and if we put it behind a paywall, we could charge $9 or $10, and everybody's not going to pay for it, but your fan base will. And then when people start doing that globally, there's going to be millions and billions of dollars made by people because the cost of production is less,
right?
But it's the same subscription.
Does it feel good to be able to aid people and just know that we all getting money together?
Yeah, because look, if you're not pissing people off, if you're not pissing people off in tech, you're not doing it right. You're supposed to be the guy, that comes on there and just screws it up for everybody, right? That's disruption, and that's really what makes big change. And I think advertising is going to be a lot harder to do because people are opting out of people tracking you on your phone. You're not using it or watching your stuff like that. And so people don't understand that monetizing your content is going to be normal. Right now, it's like we're on the fringe. Like if you think about like what happened before normalizing this content, I would say the adult entertainment industry and gamers were the first ones to say, look, we're going to get paid from subscription. Now in the last maybe 7 years, we moved into podcasters. But then there's an influencer generation that wanted to be famous and get brand deals. But then they're like, that's not really working out.
Yeah.
I need to get paid too. So for every influencer that's out there that doesn't, that has, I know people with millions and millions of followers that are broke.
Yes.
Right. And then I know someone with 5,000 subscribers that charges $2.50 a month. That's making $12,500 a month, $150,000 a year. That's more than 97% of Americans. So it's the money's not in your following, the money's in your fan base.
Right. I did see you say that the other day. Your engagement is more important than your following.
Yeah, man, engagement, following is dead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a change to fan base in some of the way that we describe parts of the app in the future. But yeah, following is dead. If I told you right now, would you rather have 1 million followers and 100,000 views or 100,000 followers and 1 million views? You're going to take the views.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Following is like, it doesn't matter. So people want to be seen. They want to be heard. They don't want their content suppressed.
Yes.
All these platforms suppress content. So if you don't know, everybody listening, Instagram and TikTok are in competition with you. And the reason why I say that is, why would they let you reach 1 million people when they would charge Coca-Cola to reach 1 million people?
Man.
Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Why would you be able to post a video and say, 1 million people just saw my video every time I post it? And if Coca-Cola wants that type of visibility, they got to pay $10,000 every time they want to be seen by 1 million people. So they smush you down, right?
Right.
And then they tell you, post more content so you can trick the algorithm. But basically what you're doing is giving them more real estate to run ads in between. So rather than posting 10 videos, you post 100. So now there's more spaces to throw those ads, which increases their revenue. So it's really a big hustle. Nobody really talks about it like that.
Yes.
But I'm the guy that's like, because I don't come from this world. I'm just telling everybody like what the truth is.
Right.
Like I'm an outsider. Like I'm a music guy that came in and said, this is a scam. Y'all are really scamming people. You're telling people post all day, 24 hours a day, make every comment, do all that. And all you're doing is increasing profits for the company. But where are you getting paid?
Sheesh. I really do hate that. I remember the time when it went from everybody just having dope, cool stuff to now we're being just spammed with ads. And there's so many people's pages that I go to that I'm like, I've never see you on my timeline.
No, it can't. I mean, from 2010 to 2014, Instagram was really fun.
Yes.
You could go viral in a day.
Yeah.
Get 1 million followers out of nowhere. You're like, this person, they post you on some platform, be like, I got 1 million followers. And now it's like, no, there's a value to your audience, right? So if you take the word follower, right? So let's say someone like The Rock has 388 million followers, right?
Sheesh.
On Instagram. His content's probably seen by less than 5% of that on average, right?
Crazy.
But if you take 388 million and say The Rock has 388 million viewers, right? That means he has 3 times the visibility of the Super Bowl, which only comes on 1 day a year for 4 hours a day. And brands pay, I think it's like $6 million, $7 million for a 30-second spot. So The Rock could charge $24 million for every 30-second spot he posted on his Instagram page if he could reach 338 million people. Because the brands would come and pay The Rock. They would never pay Instagram. So that's why they smush you down. So it's all money. It's like, if he can reach that people, we'll just cut The Rock the check. And then he'll never have to shoot a movie again. Right? But when you take someone like The Rock and take his audience and say, well, there's a fan base in that 388 million people, there's like about 19 million people that love The Rock.
Right.
And if they subscribe to The Rock and paid him a certain amount of money, like let's say he made $5 a subscriber, he'd make $1 billion a year.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to be, because of course, that's something that I especially like as content creators, those of us that love it, that do it, you have to invest your own to, to be able to do the things that you want or for them to be the way that you want. So that is definitely something that's heavily on my mind. Well, like, if I'm always paying out, he's got to pay me somehow. So if I wanted to become a member, what is the process for becoming a part of Fanbase? Well, Fanbase for anyone listening.
Fanbase is free to download. It's free to use. It doesn't cost anything, right? Think of it as a hybrid between pre-existing social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok. And then you can also put content that you want behind paywalls for people to subscribe.
Okay.
Now, if you've seen that happen recently with TikTok and Instagram, I'll be the person to tell you that they got it from us.
Yeah.
So Fanbase was the first app that allowed a human being to subscribe to another human being using your phone.
Okay.
Not like I got to pull out my credit card like you can do on these other platforms, but I can use the in-app purchase technology that's within the phone to subscribe to people.
Okay.
We did that first. So now you see Instagram doing it. Now you see TikTok doing it. Now you see these other platforms doing it. And the reason why that's so important is because the instantaneous nature in which you can make money is super, super fast.
Right.
And then I wanted to build tools because I'll be the first person to say I didn't build Fanbase for me. I built Fanbase for the generations after. And I feel like there's no amount of innovation that Facebook and Instagram can do to capture kids.
Okay.
Because young people are always going to be on apps that their parents are not on.
Yep.
I have a little brother. He's not coming near Facebook. He's not really hanging out on Instagram because I'm there. So kids want to listen to the music. They want to listen to, Sexy Red and all these other artists, you know what I'm saying, have fun. And they don't want their parents or their aunt or their grandma, like, grandma's on Facebook. As soon as my mom got on Facebook, I left Facebook.
Same. I'm out.
Peace. And I'm on Instagram. And now my brother's looking at me like, Instagram's not cool. My brother's over there. So younger generations are going to want their own platform. So I built Fanbase to be a successor platform. I built it to be a platform that is not in competition with Instagram and TikTok, but more a successor. Even though I feel like they're in competition with me, I'm not in competition with them because I have a whole different business model.
Do you feel like I can't help but to think of, like, is that maybe what OnlyFans intended to do and sex workers kind of just like took over it? And people were like, no, this isn't a place that I can just have all my fans. But because Fanbase seems so much more clean, that is like directed towards fun content, talent, and getting that kind of exposure where, like, do you guys monitor what kind of, what if somebody was trying to put explicit content on their fan base? Could they?
So I'll explain. I'll say this. Every single person on social media is a content creator. Whether you post once a year or 100 times a day, they're running ads in between your content.
Right.
So if you comment on somebody's post, you're a content creator, right? If you make a response video or whatever, all that stuff is content. So there's a value to that. So I think with OnlyFans, those platforms are not, they're web-based platforms because they're so heavily pornographic that they're not allowed to be on the App Store. And OnlyFans makes a ton of money. So there is no OnlyFans, Google, or Apple App Store app, right?
Okay, I didn't know that.
There's no Pornhub app,
right?
Right. You just got to go to Pornhub,
right?
You just got to go to the places that service those audiences and stuff like that. So Fanbase is very. I want everybody to be able to use it.
Yes.
So I don't care what type of content you make. I don't care if you know how to sing. I don't care if you make the best chicken soup and you want to show people how to cook.
Yes.
I don't care if you show people a better way to do their taxes. I don't care if you know how to do the best hair. I don't care if you know how to play the best video games. Whatever it is, I think within your following is a fan base. So I say about 5% of the people that follow you are your fan base. So if you have 1 million followers, you got 50,000 fans. The other 95% of people follow you passively, like a magazine at the checkout aisle, like, oh yeah, it's cool. Or they're nosy or they're haters. That's it.
Period.
That's 95% of people. The other 5% are like, I'm with you. Like wherever you say go, I'm going. I'm down with you. You want to see the people like that succeed. Everybody has a fan base that wants to see them go from 0 to 60. So the person that is the young creator that nobody knows to becoming Kai Cenat.
Yes.
That's why because people want to see people like him win. Because there's already a bunch of rich people. You want to see somebody go from being like struggling in their room, like eating cereal, playing video games, like now I'm making millions of dollars.
Yes.
And that's that process. And so Fanbase gives everybody that opportunity. I'm really proud because we launched this new functionality yesterday called Fanbase Plus. So if you don't know a little bit about Fanbase has 6 verticals of creation, right?
Okay.
So posts, which are photos and videos, right? Stories, you can go live. Then we have audio rooms like Clubhouse and Twitter Spaces.
Okay.
But they're monetized. Then we have short form video creation, so like TikTok and Reels. And then we have long form content like Fanbase Plus.
Okay.
And so think of Fanbase Plus as your YouTube or your Netflix.
Okay.
And so we just launched Fanbase Plus on web, which means you can post up to 2 hours worth of content behind a paywall or not for free. Like if you just want to upload a YouTube video like that, you can upload the video, but you could also put a podcast, a TV show, a movie behind the paywall and then get subscribers. So you are your own Netflix. And that's for everybody. And we have that on the app and now it's on web. So now people can actually purchase your content with a credit card on web, or they can use the app to do so.
Awesome. What are when you because it's cool to see when you go out in the field. I know you just talked about going to Invest Fest and different things where you're meeting other Black people in tech, other amazing people. Are you ever still for any of the young people that might be tuned in and interested, are you ever looking for people to work alongside you or with you for the company outside of being a part of the Fanbase community?
Well, I mean, a couple things. We're always looking to grow the Fanbase community because, number one, how I raised the capital for the company was through investment, right? But it was allowing anybody to invest. Okay. So I'll explain the difference between like venture capital or private equity and then regulation crowdfunding or equity crowdfunding. Venture capital and private equity, a bunch of rich people are legally allowed to invest in companies before anybody else has a chance to because they're rich, simply because they're rich. So if you understand why you never got a phone call to invest in Uber or Apple or Microsoft or Instagram, is because those opportunities went to already rich people that are called accredited investors. Those are people that make over $1 million a year. Make over $200,000 a year for 2 consecutive years or are worth $1 million minus their primary residence. So you never get those opportunities. Now, with equity crowdfunding, anybody can invest in these companies regardless of their net worth or income. So Fanbase has about 12,000 investors. And so through 3 rounds of equity crowdfunding, we've allowed people to invest. So I tell you right now, if you had an opportunity to own part of Instagram or TikTok when it first got started, would you? If it only cost you $250, because that's the minimum to invest in Fanbase. Okay. You say, yeah, I'll grab me some shares. Yeah. Because think about this. There's a guy named Orrin Michaels who invested in Uber in 2010. He put $5,000 into it. And when the company went public in 2019, his $5,000 was worth $24 million.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I know you probably got 10 friends. Y'all could have put $500 a piece and got $2.4 million in 9 years, right? But you never got that call. Right. Or it's totally fine for everybody listening right now to go to Vegas and gamble $5,000. Right on blackjack or whatever it is. Or we could all go buy $5,000 worth of lottery tickets and it's totally fine. But well, then how come I can't gamble on Fanbase? How come I can't gamble on Instagram? How can I gamble with Fanbase? You can gamble on Fanbase. You can actually invest and own part of the company. And then what I tell people is owning part of a platform that you use, you leverage your audience to bring people to the platform, which then increases the value of the platform. Right. When you think about social media, what makes all these apps popular or valuable is the user base. Right. So if it's a scale, if I look at it like a scale, it's like the more people that stand on the scale, the more valuable the company is. So it's like, okay, if we have 430,000 users on Fanbase, but if I had another 500,000, then Fanbase would double in value. We're valued at 85 million now. Okay. So if I had another 500,000 people, I could probably value the company at 500 million. I could probably value the company at an insane valuation because I have that user base. So why not own part of the company? And this is for young people, because I know the younger kids out here are into investing. Yes. They're into crypto. Yes. They're into NFTs. Like, you have a better chance of investing in Fanbase and turning that into something that's profitable than a lot of the crypto that's out here. Because when people first invested in Fanbase, it was valued at 20 million. Now it's valued at 85 million. Right. So now your investment is already 4 times more. It's already 3.5 times more valuable than you first invested, and that was just 3 years ago. Sheesh. So it's really the time to actually own. People should own part of the platforms they use. You can invest in Fanbase on Start Engine. It's a platform called Start Engine. You go to startengine.com/Fanbase to invest in Fanbase and then own part of the company. We're about to close. This round closes actually at the end of this month, so I tell people all the time, this is the last one of these I'm doing before I do Series A, because I wanted people to actually own part of the platform. Yeah. I wanted a bunch of young people or a bunch of people that invested, 7, 8 years from now to say, remember that company Fanbase we invested in? They just got acquired. They just went public. And that $500 I put in worth of stock, it's not worth like $600,000. It's worth $1 million. Like that's dope. That's my intention. Yes. And especially for young people and creators of color. because you guys are the ones that make the platforms valuable.
Right.
So when the platform becomes this major company that everybody's talking about, you guys should be the ones walking around rich, driving the Ferraris and having the houses and having all the extra cash, because it's like, I own part of the company. I made the platform popular, but I also own part of it as well. And then I can also monetize on the front end of the company and make a ton of money.
That's super, super dope. Well, I was definitely going to ask, like, what is the future goals? But that's it right there. Like,
oh yeah, no, I mean, the eventuality of the platform is really just expanding in media. I think, again, subscriptions. My brother hung out with me. My brother went to see me speak at InvestFest, and my sister brought him some food, and I thought he was going to eat in the kitchen, and I went and have a dining room table. He was sitting at the dining room table with his phone watching Twitch, and I was like, this is where young people are. They don't care about TV. Like, they want to watch people just like them, their age, doing and talking about things that they're interested in. So that's my goal, is to provide media outlets for young people to watch that, because traditional television is just not going to be what it is. I think it's going to be decentralized. It's going to be individual. You're going to piece together the content you want. So it's like, okay, I really like the Lakers. I like Kai Cenat. And I'm a really big fan of Nike, and I'm going to subscribe to all three of those on Fanbase, and they're going to make exclusive content that I like and follow those creators or those accounts.
That's dope.
Yeah. So that could be you. That could be any actor. Like I said, I think Fanbase is going to allow musicians to make more money than the labels that they're signed to.
Fire.
Athletes to make more money than the teams they play for. And actors and actresses to make more money than the studios they produce films for, because it's direct to you. If I can subscribe directly to you, if you're Netflix, right, then the money goes in your pocket.
That's super dope.
Yeah.
That's like literally creating a generation, like you said, of kids who created the content, gets bags from the content, and can be invested in the company. That's pretty dope. I
think for everybody, so my definition of a business, people have their own, but my definition of a business is the ability to receive revenue for a product or service you provide. So by default, every single person that has a Fanbase page is a business. I could give you money right now on Fanbase. You post a photo, we have this digital currency called love. So those that are familiar with like VC, like on 2K or Call of Duty points or whatever, we have love. And so you can actually purchase love and then give love to users on the platform. So if I love your photo, I just tap on this icon and the money goes up, and every love is half a penny.
That's crazy.
So you can have subscribers and you can make love, and it's all free, and then you can post content behind paywalls. So it's just this great combination of like media, monetization, and content. And I think that's where the younger generations are headed.
Absolutely. Well, definitely. To anyone that is listening and you're ready to create this, build this future for yourself, and to also create funds for yourself that you can live off of and be a part of a legacy with Fanbase, make sure you sign up. Let's do it. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. One more time.
Yes.
startengine.com/Fanbase, and then download Fanbase on iOS or Android and make a profile, and just hop in and join the community, and you'll see. Like I've had people get on the app and say, I've been on, Clubhouse for 3 years. I made $5 on Fanbase the first 10 minutes I was here.
Wow.
It's just different when people can be transactional with one another. So thank you for the opportunity for having me
Absolutely.
speak about it, and I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. My sign up will happen today.
Yes.